Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Nat Geo Into the Wild. We missed you guys. It's been 2 weeks. I missed Georgio's face. I've been talking to him, but I missed his face, and I missed you guys. And I'm glad we're back to our schedule, back to our regular programming.
Yes. Lots of things have happened in the last 2 weeks, but I'm excited to talk about today's topics.
There's a lot, because Georgia and I were like, okay, because we have to catch up. There's been 2 weeks of tea and stuff going on. So what do we want to talk about? We thought that Meghan and Harry, I know, it stirs up a lot of controversy in the chat and the comments. We're okay with it. We're used to it. But that's interesting. The coronation's coming up, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. And I had predicted sort of like an update to a reading that we did. Remember, Georgia, a few months ago, where I had predicted that spring we will find out that they're Harry and Meghan are no longer together. And we're starting to see that. But we'll talk about it in a minute. Then there's the whole Kyle and Mauricio rumors again about them getting divorced. We will look into that. And if there's time, we're going to be looking at as well the New Jersey reunion and the whole Tree and Melissa and Joe and Louis and all that. I know we've all got VPR and New Jersey fatigue, guys. But I mean, we're almost like we're getting towards the end of this, right? So we still need to talk about it.
It's been, yes. I mean, the obvious topics are, there's obviously stuff still going on with Jersey and Vanderpump Rules. However, I do think these topics are important because we are still currently filming Beverly Hills, and this rumor is a storyline. Mauricio confirmed it. So, you know, I think this whole season's going to be around Kyle, I feel like. Or at least she's going to be a center storyline around this. Thank you, Jeff. Yes, today is my name day.
It is. I wanted to say you happy name day. Yes. It's a big name day in Greece as well, because Georgio is a Greek name, just for anyone who doesn't know. So it's Georgios in Greek. Mm-hmm. And it's your name day today. So half of Greece is celebrating, because half of Greece is called Yanis or Yorgos or Dimitris. So there you go.
Fun fact, I was almost named Demetrius.
Really?
Yes, because that was my father's name.
So your papu, your paternal grandfather, basically.
Yes.
And what was your dad's name?
Nicholas.
Oh, I love Nicholas. My brother is called Nicholas. I love it. If my brother wasn't named Nicholas, I would have named my son Nicholas. I love it.
Great name.
It's a great name. I agree. So happy name day, Georgio.
Thank you. And thank you to Sarah for the compliment on my haircut.
Yeah, you look fresh, baby.
You know, it's time to get back into it. I've been working from home for so long. I feel like I'm getting back into my own style and.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you, mods, for posting the links to becoming a member of the channel if you want. And this is Georgio's channel as well. If you're new here, hello and welcome to the family. And if you want to, go ahead on over to Georgio's channel, because he's got a long-term plan here about his channel and about his content, and he's spicing things up. So you better follow him on all platforms to find out what he's up to, because this Aquarian will never dull moment with Aquarians and Geminis. Just generally with air signs.
No, air signs always keep people on their toes.
That's so true. Happy Sunday, TJ.
Happy
Happy
Sunday.
Sunday. Right. And before we start, a quick reminder to like this video. I do realize that you love the show so much that you might forget to, click on that thumbs up. But it does help us. It's not just validation to us that you enjoy our show, the content that we put out, but it also helps the algorithm because the algorithm has been very temperamental lately. So let's give the algorithm a little bit of food, a little bit of love. So it will continue to push our content out to people. And also, before we go, and I want to say that I will be posting this week the next video of True Mystery Crimes, which was on the staircase. Michael Peterson. You've all heard of that case because there is a Netflix docu-series on it. There was an HBO documentary on it. And it's very controversial as to did he do it? Did he kill his wife? Didn't he? Well, you better watch this video because through the reading and through what I saw and picked up, have come to a very solid conclusion regarding that. So you guys, I'll post that Monday, Tuesday latest. So make sure that you've got your notifications on, so you'll get a little notification when that's up. All right, Georgio, shall we dive in? Hello, Brit.
Hello, Britt.
Hello.
Hi, girl.
So you guys, I missed everyone. Oh, there you go. My neighbor's a Greek Dimitri. He's a math genius.
And that's the thing. I love math. I don't like I don't like numbers and like financial stuff, but I like I can do math in my head very fast. I don't need
Same, and I've got photographic memory because I'm like,
that's
you
why.
do?
Yes, that's why back before we were big in cell phone mode, I could remember a phone number visually by how I dialed it on the phone.
Yes. I still remember my London number, and that was like 20 years ago. Like the number, like, the landline, I still remember that number. And I should be using it as a password because no one could guess it because I still remember it.
I remember my landline in my room because back then it was a big deal if you got your own landline when you were older.
I know, right?
So, but I still remember that landline because I remember dialing it from other people's phones to check my machine. Do you remember calling from other people's, calling from another number to check your machine? Guys, I'm dating myself.
Yes, I remember those days.
But yeah. So I don't even know.
We're not that old.
No, we're not that old.
A lot of Aquas in the house as well.
Yes.
Hello, dear Aquas. So you'll know what we're talking about, right?
You guys remember taping your own little voicemail intros?
Oh my God. No, we had fun. I mean, those were like fun days because we were very creative.
There was just we'll never have those moments back. It's just the time,
I know. I miss those days. But now, because now right now we are overly reliant on technology, and we are constantly communicating and in touch with our friends and our family, but that's not always good. That's not always good, in my opinion.
We had time to disconnect if we wanted to.
Exactly. If you didn't want to be reached, you wouldn't pick up your landline, and no one would know whether you're at home. You could always say, I wasn't home. I was out all day. I was shopping. I'm sorry. I couldn't pick up your phone,
Exactly. And there was no trace of you because there was no social media. So someone saw you out. There was no proof unless they took a picture and printed it and sent it to someone.
Exactly. That would take days. Or if someone wanted to send you a note, that would send you via post, like via mail, and there wouldn't be like a tick which says delivered red, not red. Those were the days. Oh my God, those were relaxing days. Not fun for parents. I have to say, I admit that I'm glad I'm a parent in our times because of cell phones, because of GPS, because of, air tags and all that, because I can keep tabs on my kids are still little, but in the future I'll be able to keep tabs on my kids and know exactly where they are and make sure that they're safe. Because my parents didn't. I was mischievous when I would sneak out, I would
Oh,
lie.
I started going out when I was like 16, like
Hmm.
to clubs. And I remember sneaking out, and my dad was like, had things like Fort Knox. And so, but I didn't care. Once I got past this, like, because he had motion detecting spotlights. So obviously you would get caught every time because the lights would come on if you made
Yeah.
movement. But once I got past the driveway, I was like, oh, well. And back then, there's not really many ways of getting a hold of you. So in my mind, I was like, I'll just deal with it when I get home.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Exactly. What? And it's not like they could say, "Oh, you're grounded. I'm taking your phone away, or I'm going to disconnect the internet, or whatever."
My dad did say he would disconnect my landline, and that was horrific.
They did it to me, but it didn't really work because I would sneak out and go to my neighbor who was my friend, and I would call my friends from her phone. So,
They did stop paying for my cell phone and took my car privileges away for a summer when I was like 17. But I went and got a prepaid phone and still used it to call my friends. And my friend back then, his name is Steven, would come and drive down the street, and my window from my bedroom was ground level. So I could like literally walk, like get out of it really easily and close it enough to make it look closed and just run down the street. And he was my ride for the summer. But that worked until one night I got home, and my mom had figured out that I was going through the window, so she shut it and locked it. So I had no choice but to come through the front door, and that was fun.
oh my god, oh my god. And well, oh, so if you're an Aquarius and you're a parent to small children and you listen to us and what we were up to as teenagers, yeah, good luck. Like, good luck. Because one thing Aquarians love, Sagittarius is too, is freedom.
Mhm.
Aries too. We love our freedom. So regardless how old we were, we like I was an escape artist and I was so good at it. And
Me too.
I would get away with it most of the time because I was like the golden child. So I would like take advantage of that because my parents like they were always so proud because I was like out of all my siblings, I was the golden child. And so I was like, okay. You know?
Well, I mean, I was also I was running around with someone who was like 26 years old, and I was like 17. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, well, those were the
just wait for
days.
the book.
Those were the days. Right. Shall we just get into all these topics that we have? Where shall we start? Shall we start with Harry and Meghan? Shall we start with Kyle and go on, Georgio?
Well, let's start with Harry and Meghan because um, I don't know. I feel like we don't talk about them all too often
True.
because we don't want to piss people off. But
I mean, you can't keep everyone
people get
happy.
really fired up over this topic. I'm sorry. Like in any direction, it doesn't matter how people are commenting on them. It just I don't know what I was just watching on. I think I was watching something on Thursday. Someone brought it up as a topic, and it got so heated so
Yeah.
fast, and I was like, I don't want to watch this. This is so like.
Toxic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to hearing all sides, even though I don't agree with it. I still like to know multiple points of view. So on this topic, I like hearing the opposite side of things and stuff, but people get really fired up.
I know. I mean,
Like
have you seen
real
Twitter?
fired.
Honestly, Giorgio, I haven't done many videos on Prince Harry and Meghan, but the ones that I have, those are the ones that generate like the worst comments or the worst negative comments that I get are under the Prince Harry and Meghan videos and under some of the true crime ones. Because
Mm.
the true crime community can be very, very aggressive too. Just saying, which I don't understand.
And the Teresa fans.
Oh yeah, the Teresa fans too.
They are.
Luckily,
Do you know that literally they have been going and trying to report posts and say that things are like branded or paid advertisement that are not. And then TikTok's asking me, is this paid advertisement? I'm looking at the video again to be like, did I come off like I was selling something? But I started researching it. People are doing that now. Also,
oh,
I know I've mentioned this before and we will move on. Yes, Sarah, you did warn me. the Teresa fans are out of control. But nonetheless, I don't know if it's a bot. Someone purchased a bot on me. Like, I'm getting more eyebrow hate than ever on
Oh,
all
the
platforms.
eyebrow.
It used to just be on TikTok. Now it's on YouTube Shorts, it's on Instagram Reels, and it's on mainly it's definitely happening on TikTok. But more than ever,
It's crazy. Can someone start a TikTok or an IG account, Justice for Georgio's brows? Can someone friggin' do that? I can't believe that people are so
I'm
hung
not
up
even
on your.
offended by that. It's weird because I'm not offended by it because I love my eyebrows. And so, secondly, like, it's just weird that they're just popping up a lot more. So I know the Teresa fans are psychos, and like, no offense to like Teresa fans, if you're not one of those types of fans, that's great. But like, it's weird. The last few weeks, it's been like, okay, I get it. Like,
Oh, you know what? You've got to start a meme account for your eyebrows and start just like, listen, when they troll you, you troll them back. What can you do? I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I mean, people are like, delete the comments, but I'm like, no, because they're not offensive to me. It doesn't offend me. It's just weird. It's just like a weird fixation that people have always had on me since I've like put myself out there as my eyebrows. And it's
You know what,
either
Georgio?
50% are loving them and DMing me and asking me how I get them the way they are. And then the other 50% are like, I hate you and your eyebrows. I can't even listen to what you're saying because your eyebrows are this, or you're like, it's always like really, and some of them are like really like personal sometimes. I'm like, wow.
You've got two options. You can either take the Bethany route, the Bethany Frankel, and
I'm
you
going
can
to
do like
trademark my
start doing
eyebrows.
trademark your eyebrows and do like beauty videos on how like you care for your eyebrows. Why
Yeah.
not? Second route is take the Lassa Pippen route and start an OnlyFans account.
I'm sure someone has an eyebrow fetish.
I'm sure they do. I mean, if it stirs up so much drama and so much hatred, then I'm sure there are people that will like passionate about your eyebrows.
Gosh, it's crazy.
Monetized. I can't with people. I can't. Anyways, enough with, but like, honestly, we have to start a movement like justice for your eyebrows.
Justice for my eyebrows. But no, back to Harry and Meghan. I mean, we also picked topics that we had spoken about before, and we're seeing those things starting to come to light, right? So, the Kyle and Mauricio stuff was just timing, honestly,
Right.
because we like know that they're talking about it on the show, and we talked about it on this show, months ago.
Months ago. Yeah, it seems like months ago. But anyways, let's get to them. And then maybe then, you know what? Maybe we could even skip Kyle. Well, we'll ask the chat, but maybe we can just go directly to maybe do like a sneak peek as to what came out after the reunion because we haven't seen the reunion yet. So,
well, I will give you guys an insider. I have an insider.
Go on, give us the
It's
tea.
not a full recap because I wanted to make sure that I stay like not on one side or the other. However, there were some key things that did come out that I posted on my Instagram, but I do want to mention that I do have a little bit of tea on New Jersey's reunion, so I will share that here first because I haven't shared it yet.
Ooh, so you have to wait for the tea, guys. So we'll do Harry and Meghan, and then we'll get to that. And I just want to bring this up that Gabby is mentioning that there is an investigation. So a lot has happened for the Montecito duo, right? There's a lot that's happened in the last 2 weeks. One of them is that a French journalist has investigated, like really went in depth to investigate the foundation Archwell. And he even visited the headquarters of Archwell and he couldn't find anyone there. There was no one there. And then he started digging into the accounts, into how much they spend, how much, they donated, how much was like, donated to them, and then they sort of like donated elsewhere. And there's a lot of stuff that's not making any sense. Okay. Why, if they don't have any employees, they have stated in their tax forms that they pay, I don't remember now the amount, but it could be like, I think it's like $40,000 or something along those lines. Not a year, but I think per month for employee salaries when there's no one working there officially. So there's no one physically there. It's not like there's a receptionist. It's not like there is, an assistant or anything like that.
And they don't
Um,
work remote, right? The employees are not like remote workers.
do you know a lot of NGOs that the employees work remote? As far as I know, like,
Yeah, no.
they at least they should have a couple of people, like like a skeleton crew, as they call them, in the office.
Right, or someone just to like be at the front desk at the very least.
Right, but from what I understood, is that their office is not, it's like in one of these shared, or what are they called, like serviced office spaces where you just
Oh,
you
yes.
rent a space, and then all the companies there share the same reception, the same receptionist, etc.
Yes.
Which again is a bit sort of dodgy, but that's not the issue here, because the coronation is a couple of weeks away and there's so much going on right now. We found out, and we said it here first. You heard it here first, guys. I said Harry will go to the coronation, Meghan won't. Okay. I had said that she wouldn't, and indeed she's not going. But well, before I go on, what do you think? Because I'm more into the royals generally, not just them, just generally into. I'm a royal watcher because obviously I'm half British. I lived in Britain, so I've always been fascinated by them. What's your view on it at the moment, on them, on right now?
I honestly think that I think honestly there was two different strategies from what I've seen on Meghan's
Hmm.
part. I do think that she genuinely fell in love with Harry. I do genuinely think that she loves him. But I also
Hmm.
think that she understands how this could impact her career long term and give her sustainability and independence. I don't necessarily, now looking at it in hindsight, believe that she was willing to go through what was necessary to play the role that she was meant to play if she was going to be with Harry ultimately, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. And I
Hmm.
think because of that, it's become clear now with them using their story as a way to garner income
Hmm.
that now it's getting more and more like clear, like, okay, well, we're settling in financially, we're good, we're not in this scope. But now when you start hearing these types of things, like people looking into their foundation, and this just adds to the flames of people questioning the motives behind everything that they've done, even if it wasn't for the purpose of just making money. It was their way of feeling like they could tell their story and control it. But
Hmm.
outside of that, like again, in this situation with the foundation, what do you want people to think? And if you're not going to go with your husband to not would not just be like a normal family function, you know what I mean? This is like a big
Hmm.
thing. That's also going to send out signals to the press, which I think they're also playing that up a little bit too. I think she understands the press part of it as well as he does, but she understands it from a Los Angeles. It's different. The
Yeah,
press
but
here can propel your career in a lot of
yeah.
ways, whereas over there, it's like could ruin you if you're in the press for too much if the story is wrong.
I agree, but Kate Middleton has been through it. Like, she's been through it a lot longer than than Meghan, because I remember when it all came, because they were dating since they were, at university, and it was on and off, so it leaked to the press, and I remember it was a huge thing. They were hounding her down the street. I mean, hounding, like Diana style, Princess Diana style. They were being mean. They would call her chubby because at some point she had gained some weight, and she's skinny by default, like that sort of thing. But at some point she was a little bit, so people were like judging her for her looks, judging her for her weight, what she was wearing, that she was weighty Katie because she was waiting for William to ask her to marry her, because they were dating on and off. So I want to say that Meghan, compared to Diana, compared to Kate, mostly those two, because the others are not, like, the other royals are not as popular, or they're not, um they're not going to be heirs to a throne. So she had 18 months where she was around a working royal. So first of all, it's enough time for you to learn the ropes and to learn what the protocol is and how the royal family is. And on the other hand, she wasn't hounded as badly as people think. Like, honestly, I'm not saying that the press was kind to her. The press were, I remember the headlines that were both really good. Like, everyone was super excited that this mixed race woman from America, who's an actress, that Harry finally found the love of his life, that they were going to settle down. Like, this was huge, and people saw it very positively, and so did the press. But where it all started going haywire, when things were leaking from their camp. Okay, it's not just, and people started intuitively from the engagement interview onwards, they started feeling that something's off, like something's not authentic, something's missing. So I see your point, but on the other hand, she did have 2 years as a working royal, and that's enough time to really understand how this family is, the dynamics. Forget about who they are. Forget about them being royal. Just let's pretend they're just another normal family like yours and mine, okay? She knows their personalities. She knows what they like. So I really think that she is extremely smart. She is extremely smart. And I feel that she knows how to press buttons to get what she wants. And we've come to the point now before the coronation where on one hand she says, I don't want to go. I'm not going because it's Archie's birthday on the 6th of May. That's the excuse, or that's what she says it is. Then that excuse changed because she's like, well, I don't want to come. She's changed 3 or 4 times why she's not coming. First was Archie's birthday. Then it was because this is King Charles Day and she doesn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. Then it's like she feels uncomfortable. And then the letter that she wrote to King Charles and the one that he replied back to her, another letter, leaked to the Daily Telegram. The Daily Telegraph. So what's going on here? Why are we playing games again? Can we just let things be a little bit until the coronation? Or is she needs that attention constantly? Where like she needs people to talk about her because that keeps the attention on her, whether it's negative or positive. This is what I feel.
No, that's 1000% it from her angle. That's what she understands now with this press thing. She leverages it differently in the US. She can't leverage it that well over there. And so she's made it so that, yes, the power of being in the press, whether it's positive or negative, is bringing in listeners to her podcasts. It's driving, book sales for Harry. It's a business partnership as well. So, it will be interesting to see how long they will be able to sustain this.
We'll see. Well, my first feeling when she came out and she said that she's not coming to her coronation, which we already knew in a sense, was like, I think this is the beginning of the end. I really do. I really don't energetically, every time I try to read them or try to pick up things energetically with them, they don't seem to me that they are a team, as you said, they are a business team, but it doesn't seem to me that they are like together, like a couple, that they've got each other's backs. I do feel that they're both in it together because Harry left the country. He's gone to the US. He's got to hustle now
Yeah.
because he's got to make money. He's got to do something with those titles because it's not like it's not like he's a seasoned content creator or a seasoned presenter or an actor. He doesn't have any of those talents, let's say, because he lives in California. So in what I think that this is all what they're doing now is they're molding a lot of these narratives, the Sussex squad, the Sussex not squad, the Sussex team, right? Because they're trying to ease in the fact that they're no longer together. And also, I do think because there are a lot of legal repercussions when it comes to kids, because the kids are, they're blue-blooded, they are royals. I mean, the Archie and Lily, right? But they're not living in the UK, but they're still under the kings or the queens, like the kings, what are they called? There's a word for it. So the king is the one who has custody over the heirs of the throne.
Okay.
All right. So I just will read the cards, but I can't. There's just so much information out that there's not enough time for me here to sort of share with you guys. But if you do some in-depth research online, you can use Tumblr, you can use Twitter, you can use Reddit. There's a lot more information with receipts there as to what the Sussex duo's strategy and, let's say, misinformation that they put out there is. I hope that makes sense. And Smokey says her podcast. I agree. It seemed very stiff. It seemed very scripted. We then found out that she wasn't even in the same room or in the same studio with her guests when she was interviewing. So she pre-recorded the questions, which they sent to the guests, and then the guests would answer them. So that's why the podcast just didn't seem. Did you hear it? Did you listen to it?
I never listened to it, only because I'm not into those style of podcast. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
Off the bat, it just seemed a little too produced, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't typically get into those. Also, I don't know. No hate to people that want to start a podcast out there in the chat. I'm not speaking directly at you. If you have something to say and it has value and you know, whatever. But like this whole like everyone and their mom just coming out with a podcast now, it's just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. Which is great, but I'm okay. Like, fine, if you want to start a podcast, but as long
Great.
as it's meaningful, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
there's
but
so many podcasts out there. What are you? Is there something that you're teaching people? Is it something that you're sharing? Is there some kind of special knowledge that you have? For me, that's if it's just another podcast about, let's say, Bravo, there are tons out there. Like, there are tons of podcasts about Bravo, about Love is Blind, about 90 Day Fiance, So, and the thing with Megan's podcast is, like, I didn't feel like I learned anything. Like,
well, you're
I
not
didn't get
going
anything
to.
of
It would be
value
like
from it.
it would almost be like if Kim Kardashian launched a podcast. You're not going to learn anything behind the scene. Like, you know what I'm saying? It would be produced. It's all
Yeah.
produced. It's all like pre-planned. It's a strategy. The point of the podcast is to lead to other things. It's to just start to etch her journey in the the Hollywood light, because when they first came over here, that's why it was very important for them to be photographed at these celebrity events.
True. And you just gave me a good idea. I mean, I would be down if Harry started a podcast, not
Of
a like
course.
overly produced, and he spoke like a royal, but not forget about, I don't want to hear about the royal stuff anymore. I don't want to hear about
No,
like
but it would be
you.
interesting to hear his comments on like the political culture of the United States and weigh in versus, based on his knowledge of the world, because he has worldly experience, to be fair, and
True.
has seen different forms of politics and what works and what doesn't. And it would be interesting to hear and have him speak to different delegates or people
He's
that are
not
up and
allowed.
coming. But see, that's where I feel like this is all like a miss for him here, because I feel like he could play a great role in the, not like commenting in terms of being influential in that way, but like if you're not going to be tied to the royal family anymore and you're here, well, it would be like an athlete who's retired. Well, the next best thing is to sit and comment on what's going on in the sports world, right? To continue sustaining
True.
a livelihood until you're ready to just call it all quits. But
True.
he's at the beginning of his journey, and if he's going to start a podcast, okay, fine. If you're not going to talk to political people, talk to other people that are in the space of political commentary that have weight in the space,
Or interview politicians and make it a little bit lighter because he's got a sense of humor. He's got this side of
Totally.
him, right? So he could make it like a lighter kind of podcast, or how he sees, how is it for an ex-royal, well, he's not an ex-royal, well, ex-working royal Brit who moves to California. Like, I would like to hear like a fun, informative podcast where Harry just like tells us about the good, the bad, and the ugly of him being a Brit who lived a sheltered life in a gilded cage, who moved to California. It's a very different world out there. The weather is different. Let's start from that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that would be a lot more engaging and fascinating for people than this pretentiousness that they keep putting out. You don't want to be a working royal, and I'm gonna have a little rant now. If you don't want to be a working royal, you leave the UK, you leave all your patrons just like that. All of those charities and everything that they did that the Queen trusted them with, they all left behind them. They moved to California and they continue this pretentiousness and this whinging and this whining about the royal family. Let it be. Well, I would definitely just take it on and say, okay, Harry, we all know Harry. He's always like, he's a jokester. He's a jokester. He likes to joke around. He's got a good sense of humor. Why don't you use that? Make him likable to the people. Like, make him approachable. Make him, like where people just feel that they understand Harry more than listening to to the podcast, to the book, to the interviews, to Oprah, to this and that, where he's complaining non-stop about his very, very entitled life. So they've gone about this very wrongly, in my opinion. And I feel it's because Meghan did have and does have her sights on politics, for sure. Just saying, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but I think also she's looking at it from the avenue of like, well, we elected Trump as the president, so anything goes. There's no longer this like, oh, you have to come from this background to
Yeah.
be in politics now. And in some ways that's great, but in other ways it's not, because it's being used for personal gain. I don't know. There's something about this, like these projects of hers, that I feel like they're just more for personal gain.
Yeah, they're self-serving rather than anything else.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying she can't make money and work and do that,
No.
but it's I don't know. It just all
Do
seems
you boo? Do you boo, Megan? But just just don't overdo it. Like, I just be authentic, be you. Like, just be you, the good, the bad. You're a human being. You're not God. No one's God. No one's flawless. Just be you, and people will embrace you and love you for that. It's just the whole misinformation, the lies, the backtracking, the this, the that, the attacking the press, the this. okay, the press is horrible. I agree. And I'm not saying that the firm is not, that the royal family is not, doesn't have responsibility in all this. But we don't hear them whinging. We don't hear their podcasts. We don't, they don't write books about it. They keep going. That's the issue with. Doesn't make them perfect, doesn't make them good, doesn't make them any better or worse, but just that's my issue here. That's really my issue with those two. And this whole constant, are they going for the last few months? Are they going? Aren't they going? Like their team, like Meghan's team kept like, you know, unofficially coming out or leaking stuff that yeah she's coming, and then it was like no she's not coming. This back and forth for 2 months is exhausting. We have better things to do. There are other things in the world that we'd rather talk about, but here we are talking about them and talking about Therese and Melissa as well. But yeah, but at the end of the day, that's harmless entertainment, right?
I mean, whether you like her and
Yeah,
his story or not, it's a compelling one. Either way you
yeah,
slice it, and it's good for the press. It's good for the media in general, and
yeah.
they know that, or she knows that. And we haven't heard the last of her. I can tell you that.
Oh, for sure, we haven't heard the last of them. Of her. I mean, oh, for sure, for sure. She's very smart though. She knows how PR works. She knows how the media works. She knows how to use all that. I give her a lot of props for a lot of things, you know. But I just think that, stop monetizing off of the back of the royals. Find your niche, find your place, do that, and use all that intelligent knowledge and skills and talents that you have on that. This is my this is my personal opinion. Go after me. I don't care. I'm fed up, you guys. You know, there's so many things going out in the world. Why are we fighting over royals? Why are we fighting over Tree? Why are we fighting over Melissa? Why are we fighting over these are not this all these issues are not going to change our lives. That's for
Well,
sure.
and it's also the base of a lot of this stuff, like the Teresa and Melissa stuff or any housewives related stuff. It's entertainment, and it's meant
Yeah.
to entertain us. And yes, we get into it. We get into the thick of the storylines and the scandals. But I think we also should walk away and not lose sleep over it. And some comments sometimes leave me questioning whether that particular person sleeps at night because of the way that they are invested in the situation to a degree where it's just rampant, like
Yeah.
Die Hard, like can do no wrong, and this person is perfect, and it's just like, oh my god.
No, you guys, as you can see, and I've been saying this for a while now, everything that all of us look up to, the people that we look up to, or the people that we see as role models, or the ones that we want to follow, we follow them as an example, let's say, all that is crumbling down just because we see them on a screen, just because um we see very curated things about them out there online, doesn't mean that that's who they are, or this is how they lead their life, or they are this fantastic person. Let's not get too invested on celebrities, influencers, politicians, actors, whatever it is. Let's focus on us and our family and the ones that we love, because these are very difficult times. We're going through a massive collective transition right now. Anyways, we are ascending collectively. In a couple of years, trust me, you'll come back to this video, or I'll edit this video and put it out on social media. It won't matter. In 2 years from now, it won't matter. What Kim Kardashian is doing, Meghan Markle is doing, Tree, whoever out there is doing. What's going to matter is us, our family, our loved ones, and how we can improve our lives, how we can improve ourselves and our health, and reconnect with nature, reconnect with the source, and reconnect with spirit as well, which is all happening. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I get a little bit heated because of all these, just like you're with the people with your eyebrow. Just come on, people. Come on, people. Let's be serious. Okay. We do this for a living. Yes, we're here on YouTube, on on social media, but we do this for a living because you guys want us to talk about these things or learn about tarot, learn about astrology, spirituality, or about the housewives. That's why you watch us. But if you're getting so invested that you have to scream at us and be negative, and I don't just mean me and Georgia, it just mean generally.
No, it's usually not the followers. I want to be honest. It's not my followers that do this stuff either. It's always trolls who, bots, I feel like at this point, because it's just too consistent with keywords.
I agree. So let's get back to the Montecito duo now.
Yes.
So where do we want to start with the questions? Georgia?
Well, let's start with, where are they? Are they together? Are they in a actual romantic relationship, or are they just holding up the pillars of what it needs to look like for the public?
Okay, I'm gonna pull cards for Meghan and Harry, so separately, because I want to see her side and his side. Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll see. Okay, so Meghan's first, and then is Harry. Just letting you know. They are still together. Let me pull Harry's though before I go to Meghan. Yep, Harry's definitely getting ready to travel to the UK, and he actually feels good about it. Regardless what we read or what we think is going on, he's actually looking forward to being around his family or taking this trip. I also feel that he's meeting a woman that doesn't necessarily mean romantically, but because you asked me if they're together, they are, but I don't feel that Meghan wants to be anymore. But financially, legally, and there's something else as well, is kind of like holding her back and is not allowing for her right now to break free, let's just say, from the marriage or the relationship. Okay. And she seems very stressed out and she's under quite a bit of, there's a lot going on. I feel that she's stressed out with this relationship. At this point, right now, reading her, she's not happy. She's stressed out. Maybe it's things that Harry says or Harry does, or it's his family. She's not happy. She's not at all. But on the other hand, she is comfortable because she is getting quite a bit of money being married to, being married to Prince Harry, being associated with the royals and everything that comes with all that, right?
I'm sure.
But she's not happy. She's not happy in the relationship. She wants out, but she's not doing it right now. I mean, I don't mean whether they're living together. I mean, legally, like sign papers and be done with it. He, on the other hand, he's still attracted to her. I have to say, he looks up to her.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot about Meghan that he admires and he looks up to. She's extremely smart. Yes, she does remind him of his mom in a way. There's a lot about her that he likes, but he can't wait to get away from her. He just can't wait to get away from her.
Wow.
There is a younger woman, though, that he's talking. It's not romantic yet, but I have a feeling it will turn out to be romantic. Younger than him. So I'm like, I would say like late 20s, maybe very early 30s. She is. Yes. Yes. And she's helping him come out of his depression. He was majorly depressed. Meghan is not depressed, but she's stressed out, like stressed. And she's not, I feel that she can't, right now as we speak, she's not like the energy I'm getting, because we're talking about the relationship, okay? We're not looking at everything else. We're talking about how they are between them. She can't stand them at this point right now. She can't. And he's just like, I can't wait to get away because I need a break from her. I need to go back home and see my mates and go to the pub and have a beer and do all that. This is what I'm getting.
It's inevitable though, because I think he's looking at it as a sense of like, I've told my story. I want to make money, yes, but I don't want to keep relying on the the story of my family to continue that on. And also, I want to enjoy my life. And I think from her perspective, it feels like she's pressing on from a press business standpoint, and they're both getting on each other's nerves because they both are in different spaces with all of this. She's
Yeah.
like, no, we need to push while the fire's hot. And he's like, I kind of need a break from this. And I kind of want to just enjoy myself a little bit and not be constantly in the public eye and feuding with my family in the press, or like having stories being planted, because at this point, Meghan's going to be planting her own stories as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just the way the
Sure.
game goes. You're not going to have people just automatically know what's going on. So he understands that. And to some capacity, he probably wants a break, to be fair to him.
And I have another couple of other things to add to that, because while you were talking, I was pulling cards and I was just receiving some stuff. And I'll get to this one, to Tammy. I said this before. I think it was a couple of months ago when we did the reading. I don't remember, but it was several months ago. And I did say that I did see that there is a man in Meghan's life.
Yes.
He comes up again. He's a fire sign. This fire sign man here, and I feel okay, but it doesn't look good. I don't know why. She's been seeing or talking to this man for several months now, much longer than we've known about it, okay, or we've seen it here. She was waiting for something. Maybe she was waiting for him to make a move about something. He promised something that he did not deliver, because this is going to come to a very, very painful, like, or not painful necessarily, but abrupt ending. This her relationship with this man.
Okay.
To get to Tammy's point, no, not necessarily, Tammy, because this woman that I'm seeing, it's not romantic or physical just yet. It doesn't seem that way, but it will end up physical when he is free. So it will turn into something more serious or, romantic when he's free. He's single. He's out of the situation. So, yeah. It wasn't, I know, no, the Getty thing. So there was a whole rumor going around that she was seeing Gordon Getty, right? The Gordon Getty's quite old. He's 89, 90 years old, but he loves young, beautiful women, especially intelligent women, because he likes to talk a lot. Apparently, this is what his own family came out and said. It's not Getty who I feel. I don't feel that she was physical with him, or she has. Maybe she, warms up, like, she cozies up to him in a sense, because he is Gordon Getty.
Yeah, of course.
It's not him. It's not him.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this is the sweetest right now with them. There's a lot of, I feel a lot of chaotic energy around them, both of them, for different reasons though. It does feel to me that they're separate. That's why I keep saying that. It doesn't feel like, when I read a couple, you read their energy and you can sense they're a couple, even if they're not getting along. Even if they're not getting along at the time and they're just going through, and everyone, anyone who's been in a long-term relationship, there's ups and downs and you've got to work through things, and it is a constant work in progress. It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like they're together as a unit, for the outside world, but they lead sort of separate lives. It seems to me that they're very different. I don't even feel that Harry and Meghan are sleeping under the same roof most of the time. And I said this before, and I still feel it. And I stand by the things I say, because I do, I trust my abilities and my gifts. So I stand okay. Here's the thing with Harry. Something is stressing him out about Archie, specifically about Archie. There's something that preoccupies him. I'm not sure. I do feel. So Spirit said that he wanted to take Archie with him to the coronation, regardless. So Meghan could stay with the baby, Lily, and Harry wanted to take Archie, but he can't. Could be why they are not getting along with this right now. There might be a rift. She might not be letting him to bring Archie because Archie's now what, 4 years old?
I
He's
think
4 or 5.
so.
4.
Around
Wait,
that
no,
age.
Louis just turned 1. Louis just turned 5 today. Happy birthday, Louis, Prince Louis. And Archie was born a year later, so Archie must be 4. Yeah. Just saying. So I feel that his plan was to bring Archie to the UK to the coronation, but not happening. Light mission. How do the royals feel about Prince Harry currently? Good question.
That is a good question.
That's a very good, because we're always asking about Harry and Meghan, but we never ask like about how the royal family feels about this or sees this, right? We're always like too busy with the H&M. Okay, let's see. Let's see. And a reminder that Meghan is a Leo and Harry's a Virgo. So the question is, how do the royals feel about Prince Harry? Oh, this one wanted to jump out. The magician. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. That jumped out. It was a jumper. Okay. Carol out there who's watching this, I'm going to show you the card and then I'm going to tell you. Magician jumped out. So then I had the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords for me is a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of strategizing, communication, like, the next moves, communication. They want to help Harry. They want to help Harry.
Interesting.
They do want him back. It's not like the rift is not as deep as we think between the family and him. It's between the family and her. What the family is trying to manifest. We have the magician and they're going to make it happen. They're going to bring back Harry as a working royal, even if it's part-time. They want him back at least for 3 or 4 months a year in the UK. They want him. He's not cut out. It's not as it seems. They want him back. They will offer him, probably they have, or they will when he's back in the UK, offer him to work. Just him, though. Just him. Not her.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I want to pull a couple more cards. Queen of Pentacles. 2 of Wands. I see him back and forth, you guys. I see him back and forth between the US and the UK. He's going to be traveling. It's going to happen because financially, and I said this last time, they're not doing well financially, regardless what we might all think or we're under the impression. They've got a lot of, they spend a lot of money on PR. Their big, huge 70 million house, $70 million house. I mean, they have a lot of expenses. Okay. And I did see that they were financially a little bit strapped when I read it. And I do feel because he also needs financial assistance and his dad is not going to give it to him, like he used to. Like, how much money do you want? Okay, I'll just send you a transfer of like $2 million for you to spend the rest of the month. No, he needs to work. They will help him financially, but he needs to work and he wants to, and it will happen. Believe you me, this news is going to come out during or after the coronation.
I mean, it does make sense at this point to have him back at some capacity because whether it's negative or not, at this point, they understand that he's good publicity for them in the States. He's already proven that he can go on these talk shows and put himself out there. So I think there is a future back in working for the royal family at some capacity.
Oh yeah, guys, they want him back. He is their he is their blood.
Their family. This is a long lineage. This isn't going to just be tarnished over. This is nothing in the scheme of PR in terms of what the royals have dealt with either. I know it's bad in terms of how it looks, but nothing they can't squash.
Exactly. And they will. The problem is Meghan. The problem is Meghan. As much as people hate hearing that, or the Meghan fans, I'm sorry, but I'm a reader, and as you know, I go in unbiased as much as I can, which is why I want to know very little information about something before I go in and read it. Because that way I'm definitely unbiased, right? But yeah, with Meghan, I'm not 100% unbiased. I am a little bit biased because I could read her from day one and I could see through her. I could,
Mhm.
and still do, and more people now can see through her. The problem is her, meaning that it's not her who Meghan is. Race, color, background, nationality, that's not the issue. The issue is her demands, her lies, and how she's exposing the family. Georgia, would you like you're in a relationship, you're with Jeff, would you like how would you react if, let's say, Jeff was like bashing your family from day one and creating rifts between you and your sister? And I'm just giving you an extreme example now, but you know, your family wouldn't blame you if you stopped talking to them, or if you moved, let's say, you moved to a different state, whatever. They would know that suddenly, oh, Georgia is Jeff now, something's changed. Like his attitude has changed, they're very demanding. They know that it's not you. So they have to tolerate your partner. And I'm not talking about, I'm just generalizing, it's nothing
No,
to
for
do.
sure. I mean, listen, my first question would be how much?
Jeff is like, no, don't give me the eyebrow, Jeff. I was just,
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was like, don't bring me into this.
okay. I'm sorry, Jeff. It was just like, I
No,
wanted to make it a more of a,
well, no, first of all, yes, I guess it also would matter if my family was already in the public.
yeah, like, well, yeah, let's pretend you were like your parents were
Then,
A-listers.
yes, I think if I felt similarly to, or if I saw what was going on,
Yeah.
then I would probably be in support of it for the time being. But I don't think I would want to make it a long-term strategy.
No, at some point you would want to come close to your family again. You would miss them. You would want them back. And your family would always say, or anyone's family, anyone who is in a very, has a healthy relationship with their parents, their family, anyone's family, they would say, okay, regardless of who you've chosen to marry, you're always welcome back. But just stop bashing us, stop embarrassing us, stop acting this way. This is the issue here. And she won't stop. She's still kind of like throwing shade and slightly blackmailing them and leaking stuff. Just stop.
I think it's just power, I think at the end of the day. People are now are she knows the power of, publicity and what she can do, and obviously like I said before, they have to plant stories on their own because there's no
Yeah.
way you can get the story out.
Intergalactic Defender says Megan just said that King Charles. Did she? Because Prince Harry a couple of months ago said we never, because who interviewed him? I don't remember. He's done so many interviews. One of the interviewers asked him, he said, why did you guys, you and Megan, said to Oprah that a member of the royal family questioned the skin color of your unborn baby, And he said,
Mhm.
that's not what we said. We never said that. Megan never said that to Oprah. He backtracked. And now we find out that I haven't heard of that, but Megan said that King Charles was the one who questioned Archie's skin color. It doesn't make it make sense.
Well, I mean, I think they have two different perceptions and they clearly don't, either that or they're doing this on purpose.
Mm.
Because she
Well,
did say in the interview with Oprah that she didn't say Prince Charles. She said someone, or that there was a discussion around questioning the shade of Archie, like what shade he would come out.
Why bring it up? Why bring it up if you don't want to, you know what I mean? Okay, it happened. Why bring it up? Just saying. Why would you do that if you love your husband, you respect their family? Why would you come out publicly and say that? And some TVA says Georgio would probably speak to his family and ask them to stop having their friends and associates bash Jeffrey. It goes both ways. And Harry did just that. He did that. He did defend his wife and the royal family, or the representatives defended the royal family. Of course, everyone's going to defend their own pod, their own corner.
But I think, to be fair, they have a bigger stake in the publicity media part of it over there. And I think Meghan has more control over here of her narrative.
Yes.
And I think that is also part of it.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of truth in the middle between the two. I think you're talking about a legacy that goes back so far when you talk about the royal family. This is not just some normal, this isn't like the Kardashians where it's just like, okay, well, we're no longer a part of this family anymore. This is they're like embedded in the territory that they reside. So, this is a whole big,
it's a whole thing. I mean, we're not going to solve now their family issues. I mean, we're not therapists or anything. I'm just pointing out some stuff that I'm annoyed by now, and just before the coronation as well. And every time I read them, I just see a lot of chaos and a lot of tension. Like I've never, every time, and it's not often, but like these 3-4 times I've read them, I always feel there is drama, there's chaos that I never see. I don't see, I see that Harry loves her and likes her and admires her, but I don't see that, I don't see that from Meghan when it comes to Harry. I just see that Meghan is her own little island. She's her own boss. She's her own little island. What Meghan wants, Meghan gets. And Harry's sort of like there. He's sort of like the puppet, the mouthpiece.
I think he's slowly getting into his own, though, and I think that's what we're going to start to see. I think is in his evolution of growing out of this story and kind of moving forward.
I agree. Who'd you have a conversation with someone when you know they could end up in their new book? That's another thing. That's another thing. I mean, King Charles did write back after the Oprah interview to her letter. He did respond to her letter, which was really big of him. After all that, it was humiliating for King Charles, for the whole family. What she did. His mom was sick with bone cancer. She was dying. No one knew that because they never told us. We found out after the fact that she had bone cancer, the queen.
Yeah.
So you can imagine there was a lot going on in his life as well. So, but he still took the time to respond to Meghan, and now everything is out again in media, like it's leaked. What are you playing at? Stop. Honestly, stop. Find another way to get to drum up some attention. I'm honestly fed up. You can tell. I'm just.
Hey,
and I'm not taking sides. I'm not taking King Charles' side. I'm just saying I'm fed up with this.
No, I think a lot of people are, to be quite honest.
I missed a question. Sorry, where was it? Someone asked something about Archie. I have to find it.
I think she said, how does King Charles, I think it was like, how does King Charles feel about Archie?
Okay. How does he feel like, yeah, but that's a very general question. Because I know where some people are alluding, because there are there are a lot of rumors, and there's a lot out there on Tumblr, on Twitter, that Meghan did not carry her babies, and she used a surrogate. There are a lot of like videos and images and stuff where the bump is up here. Like she walks into a building, she looks like she's 8 months pregnant. She walks out of that building 2 hours later, the bump is down to her knees. there's a lot, just go do your research if you don't know what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of speculation out there whether these children exist, because the whenever they like publish images of the kid, like photos of the kids, they're either very, very photoshopped or with filters or black and white, or you can see the back of their head, or they look very different. There's just a lot, a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. So I know where the chat is going because I can feel that you guys are being very polite and nice and you don't want to ask that question. But I
How
have
does
said before
how
that I
does King Charles feel about Archie being of mixed race?
oh, this jumped out. Nine of Cups, the wish card. He has absolute no issues with what color the skin of that baby is, to be honest. Okay.
Interesting.
That one.
See?
I'll pull a couple of more cards just to show you guys. Oh, I keep getting the same card. Okay, here. This is very relevant to Archie and his skin color and all that. But I got the same cards that I got before. Remember when we asked about the royal family and Harry and how they see this situation? I feel something's brewing right now energetically around the royal family and Harry. There's something in the works behind the scenes that we're completely unaware of. We are never going to find out. We will find out eventually at some point, but not the full details of that. Because the magician, when that comes up to me, it's like, pay attention. Something's
Mhm.
happening energetically here. They're trying to make something happen with these cards here. And I pulled cards for Archie, but this is it. So they want us to pay attention to what's going on right now, the royal family and Harry. And I want everyone to know this is coming right in. Have a little bit of faith when it comes to Harry and the royal family. They will all get back together again, not just for the coronation, I mean, as a family. They are working on it as we speak. There is some kind of plan they're devising together, which again, I feel it has to do with the whole divorce talk. I'm assuming, okay? But there is something that they're working on right now. So, oh yeah, things are listen, they're going to work on the relationship. It keeps coming up. You'll see, we'll find out in a few months. Okay. And we'll find out in a few months that Harry will be spending a lot more time in the UK than he did up to now. So, regarding Archie, yeah, I'll just pull a couple. I have the nine of, I got some more cards. Yeah. So Spirit, again, regarding Harry and the royal family, Spirit saying, wait, okay, things are happening. It will be a little while until we find out or we see them together or see them at least, peaceful and getting along. They are working on things in the background. The devil to me is like things are gonna come out. So I feel we're gonna have a summer when it comes to leaks and the press and the media. A lot of stuff has come out. I feel that Meghan is getting ready. She's got something hidden in her sleeve and she's getting ready to attack. I mean, launch a missile, launch, a nuclear weapon of a mammoth. This is what I feel, which is why I keep getting that the royal family is oh, I know what it's gonna be. Guys, okay. What she's got, I feel she's got receipts, evidence, things about Harry drinking and drug usage. And she's gonna use that. Especially because she's not gonna like that the fact that the royal family and Harry are working on the relationship.
Yep.
But they're excluding her in those plans for him to
Sure.
come back, So
Yep.
she's gonna go nuclear, guys.
Wow.
And she's gonna use things that he wrote in his books, things that he said in his interviews, and I feel that she's got She's taped stuff as well. She's got videos and stuff.
That's wild.
That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. Oh
You
yeah, the
never know
fool.
what you're gonna get on Nat Geo.
She's gonna come out. You know what? She's gonna do that because she's gonna come out as the victim.
Of course.
He's unstable. He's addicted to marijuana, whatever he's taking and doing, ayahuasca, whatever it is. I was terrified. I didn't feel safe. My kids, guys, you heard it here first. This is exactly what's going to come out soon. No, well, soon. It's going to be a busy summer. It's going to be a crazy summer.
Wow. Well, I wasn't expecting all these left turns in the
Neither was I.
update, but to be continued on them. And guys, for the sake of the replay, I think we should hold off on talking about Kyle and Mauricio just so that because we're about an hour and a half in now. So
I agree. But before we go, two things. One thing is you've got one last chance, Chad, to ask one more question about Harry and Meghan. And you didn't spill the tea about the reunion, about the New Jersey reunion.
So what I heard allegedly is that if you guys have been picking up on any recaps of what happened at the Jersey reunion, it's all very skewed to kind of make it seem as though Joe and Melissa came out as liars. However, my source told me that a lot of this was all set up and was not as it seemed. Like people lied basically about things on camera for the sake of basically covering showing loyalty, if that makes sense in certain elements. And so yes, it should be very interesting reunion, and we still obviously have the rest of the season to play out, but I heard the reunion was very draining.
Well, when's the reunion again?
So it was filmed on Thursday, this past Thursday.
I know,
but
yeah.
I don't know exactly when we're gonna get it. I know that we have about, I want to say 6 more episodes left in the season.
6?
I know we still have quite a bit of. I
I
mean, that will
can't.
go by pretty quick, but same with Vanderpump Rules. I mean, we still, I think, have about around the same amount of episodes. So
Yeah, but Vanderpump Rules is interesting. New Jersey right now, I've stopped watching it. I can't
a lot of
wait
people have.
another 6 episodes till the reunion. I can't.
A lot of people have told me as well that they just wait for my commentary because they
Yeah,
don't
that's
even
true.
feel like they don't even, because they knew going into the season they weren't interested in this Teresa Melissa story again. It was the same. I will say also that there is some allegedly there's some piecing together of possibly a certain Twitter account being paid by Louis allegedly to put out false bad stuff basically, and so we shall see what they find out. And
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a wild May and June, I feel, with all these reunions and everything else. And quick question, what did you think of, like, totally random, but I want to hear your opinion. What did you think of the ultimate girls trip? The Thailand one.
I like some elements of it, but I do think that the casting was incorrect. I don't think that
Yeah.
I think they also picked people that just came off of filming their season, like
Yeah.
Heather and Whitney, and that was weird because we know that although on that trip it looks like they're making up, but we know that they're not in a good place again because
Mhm.
they re-aired these episodes. They had just come off of filming it, so they were still pissed off about what they filmed, not watching back
Mm.
what the other people were saying. So that element, I also think that Leah was a huge mistake in casting.
Oh yeah.
Huge
I
mistake.
agree. I agree. She just stood out like a
Anybody
sore
else, I would
thumb.
have
And
taken Sonia Morgan. I would have taken the Countess. Well, no, she was already on one. But anybody else, I honestly, that was a huge mistake on their part. I don't know why they thought that would be a good idea. She's
I'm with
not
you.
really been on the show
Mhm.
that long. She's been on 2 seasons, and that's not enough of a reason for me to have. And she's been copping out a lot.
I know. I agree with you totally. And the whole Giselle and Portia alliance
Yeah,
leaving.
and I knew that going into it because of the fact that they did that show together, Bravo Chat Room. So I already knew.
Oh, okay. No, because I'm over Giselle and everything, poor Pepsi and all that. It just went a little bit dark at some point. I'm like, come on, just give us one housewives that's not dark right now. And yeah, but we'll wait for the next one. We'll wait for the next one. We'll look forward to that. Okay, you guys, we'll wrap it up here because indeed it's 1 hour, 20 minutes in, and we want to keep this tight and fresh so the replay crew can enjoy it. Thank you, chat, for being here. Again, let me just remind you guys to like this video if you haven't already. Do hit the notification bell so you do get updates on when I post videos. There is a video coming up in tomorrow or Tuesday on the staircase, Michael Peterson. And did he do it or didn't he do it? You'll have to find out. And please go ahead and follow Georgio on all platforms, especially now as he is kind of like somewhat rebranding and changing things around. So there's a lot to look forward to. So
Yes, yes.
be sure to follow Georgio too. Thank you everyone for being here. Till next time. Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.